Most people think investing in Bitcoin is a game of buying at the right time and being lucky. But it's not. What you actually need is a simple, step-by-step system that turns your money into profits without any luck or uncertainty involved. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 4-step system that turns your savings into generational wealth with Bitcoin. Now, you're probably thinking, is this going to work for me? Well, when I started my journey in 2017, I had similar doubts. But once I started applying this strategy, I gained a lot of freedom in a really short amount of time. I was able to quit my 9-to-5 job, have my wife stay at home with the kids, and today I live a largely stress-free life without worrying about inflation or my financial future. Now, again, this was all without luck or trading. I didn't do anything besides what I'm about to show you. And Bitcoin's average growth in the past 5 years has been 69% per year, or almost 14x. So I think this is by far one of the best ways to grow your wealth with Bitcoin. And you can start today by clicking the link in the description below. Now, let me walk you through the strategy that we're going to use. If you listen to a lot of people in the crypto market, they'll say you need to build a diversified crypto portfolio. You need to learn about these different tokens and projects so you can invest in a basket of coins as well as make speculative plays like NFTs and meme coins. They might also tell you to learn technical analysis so you can recognize patterns on charts and know when to buy and sell. So before you know it, you're almost becoming a day trader, having to monitor the market every day, which by the way never closes. So this quickly turns into a nightmare where you're spending hours researching stupid projects and constantly having to look at price charts, feeling stressed about the volatility. The reason diversification doesn't work is because it's basically like saying you don't know what you're doing. You have no conviction, so therefore you need to spread out your investment over many different assets, hoping some of them will work out. The reason the system I follow works so well is because of its simplicity. Rather than diversifying with losers, we concentrate on the winner, Bitcoin. The way I like to think about getting a total newcomer to make generational Bitcoin wealth as fast as possible is by following 4 steps in a cycle. Together, the 4 steps spell out the word RISE. So we'll call this the RISE system. Now, what's cool about this process is that the results compound by going through the cycle multiple times. Step number 1. Step number 1 of the RISE system is recon. As the first touch point, the main goal is to get a connection with Bitcoin's purpose and potential. This involves learning Bitcoin's basics, the problem it is solving, and why it is special. Since different people care about different things, it's key you get introduced to Bitcoin in a way that resonates with you. For example, a poor person may need to know that they can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin, whereas a rich person would want to learn that storing value in Bitcoin is free, unlike a rental property that requires maintenance and taxes. You can start the recon step today by taking my free video course through the link in the description below. And as soon as you understand Bitcoin's goal and how big of an opportunity it is, you should move on to step number 2. Step number 2 is to invest. In this step, you'll buy your first bit of Bitcoin. The main goal is to quickly get some skin in the game, because this makes it much more likely that you'll stick around and continue your learning journey. How many people have come across Bitcoin thinking, that's interesting, I need to take a close look at this, only to continue their lives and forget about it? Years later, Bitcoin crosses their path again, but by then the price has increased massively. It's still not too late, but with Bitcoin, the sooner you get involved, the better your outcomes. That's why it's urgent to buy some Bitcoin as soon as possible, even if you're just getting started. If you want to learn to swim, you gotta get your feet wet first. Now, there are many places to get price exposure, but the best way is to buy on a major exchange so you can actually withdraw the Bitcoin and hold it. You don't want to be stuck with a Bitcoin IOU that you can't move into an actual Bitcoin wallet. Otherwise, what's the point? Once you own an amount of Bitcoin that's neither too small that you would just forget about it, nor too big that you would lose sleep over it, you're ready to move on to step number 3. Step number 3 is to secure. The goal of this step is to get comfortable holding Bitcoin. You'll achieve this by setting up your own wallet and taking custody of the Bitcoin you bought. Throughout my years of teaching newcomers, I found that letting people use Bitcoin at the base layer is the most effective way to show the power of Bitcoin's technology. The moment they have their first wallet wow is when Bitcoin starts to click for most people. At the end of step 3, you know the basics of Bitcoin's technology and the best practices in security so you can confidently hold your Bitcoin and use it to make payments. The fourth and final step is to educate. Now you might think, but David, I just went all the way through buying my coins, putting them in my wallet. Am I not just supposed to sit around and wait till I'm rich? So in 2011, a Twitter user called Greg sold 1700 BTC, bought at 6 cents and sold at 30 cents for a quick 5x profit, but later regretted it when Bitcoin hit $8. At today's Bitcoin price, his lack of education cost him $161 million. However, you can educate yourself for free simply by subscribing to this channel. This is why step 4 is so important. The only way to build proper conviction is through education. Now, what the individual learning journey looks like exactly varies from person to person, but a common feeling among new Bitcoiners is the sense of falling down the rabbit hole when they're in this phase. Typically, you'd consume books, podcasts, articles, or videos on topics like economics, tech, finance, investing, security, or philosophy. Basically anything linked to Bitcoin as a technology or new form of money. If you follow your interests and enjoy the ride, you'll rapidly build so much conviction that even the scariest corrections will have you empty your bank account rather than panic selling your stack. The power of this 4-step rise system lies in repeating the cycle. Each loop compounds your Bitcoin wealth like a snowball rolling downhill. During the recon phase, you'll look for new Bitcoin topics that spark your interest. Then, with your increased knowledge, you can invest more for bigger returns. As long as your exposure matches your conviction, you can hold and build long-lasting wealth. And as your level of wealth grows, your security setup will need to be upgraded. Eventually, you'll be able to store serious sums of money without losing sleep. And finally, educate. Keep studying to understand Bitcoin's value. The goal is to hold your Bitcoin so tightly that you can stay unshaken when corporations and governments eventually offer you millions of paper dollars per coin, so you can avoid later regrets. Every cycle builds bigger results, more Bitcoin, better security, unshakable conviction. Unfortunately, too many people never make it through step 1 and miss Bitcoin because they've been lied to by experts and educators. I don't want you to be one of them, so click this video to learn why they are dead wrong and start the 4-step system without wasting time.